Boy, am I glad to see you, Marina!
Mischief Makers on the N64. It's a fantastic game created by the legendary development studio Treasure, and unfortunately it was for the most part ignored at the time because it broke the cardinal sin of being a 2D game on the N64. Which is ironic because nowadays if you make a 2D game everyone praises you for it. World's a funny place, huh? Anyway, the story follows Ultra Intergalactic Cybot G, Marina Lightyears, and holy crap that's a mouthful, as well as her traveling companion Professor Theo, on their way to Planet Clancer. Except Professor Theo gets kidnapped by an evil empire because every empire ever is evil by definitions because reasons, and now Marina has to go save him. Except she can't tell the difference between good Clancers and bad Clancers because they all look the same to her. And that's racist, Marina. But you know what? I'll give you a hint. The good ones are the ones that aren't entirely blatantly evil. Okay? Mischief Makers is a game where you shake things. You will shake a lot of things. You will shake all of the things. Shake a missile. Shake this ball. Shake a cat. Shake this boss. Shaking is in fact such an integrated part of gameplay that there is a dedicated sound clip to tell you that you are doing just that. But aside from shaking, this game is a fairly standard 2D platformer. You don't necessarily move right to left though. Your main goal is to find a teleporter within the world that will move you on to the next level. And what makes this game such a fantastic breath of fresh air compared to most other platformers is each level is basically completely original. I mean, yeah, you do have levels which are basically travel right to left, but on some levels you might be on a traveling platform that can only support so much weight, so you have to constantly throw enemies off. Or you might have to go and collect a family all the way on the right side of the world in order to bring it back to their house on the left side of the world in order to make your teleporter appear. Basically, every single individual level in Mischief Makers is unique, and that's one of the things that makes it so absolutely crazy in terms of how much creativity went into this game. Because the developers could have just as easily said, alright, the goal of every level is to get to the single rightest portion of the level. But no, instead they might have said, yeah, okay, get to the rightest most portion of the level, but you have to surf on a missile to get there. Or you have to solve a bunch of really obscure puzzles involving shaking a pot to mix up various objects to get there. And that's why this game is great, because not only is it a treasure game, which basically instantly makes it amazing, it's a rule, look it up, but it's just so well designed, and the fact that every level is completely and entirely unique makes every level completely a surprise and keeps you on your toes. You don't know what to expect from the next level, just as you didn't know what to expect from the previous level. Because when I first played this game, I certainly didn't expect to fall face first into the Olympic Games, and then get completely stopped because it was a button mashing event and I'm bad at those. Basically, this game is awesome because while it may use the exact same set of mechanics in every level, each level spins the use of mechanics differently. And that's fantastic. Now what is interesting about this game gameplay-wise is despite it being a treasure game, there isn't an overly high emphasis on boss fights. Each one of the 5 worlds this game has like an average of 2 boss fights, as opposed to, say, Gunstar Hero or Alien Soldier, which were basically strings of boss fights that were linked together to create a level. Now instead the levels come first, then the boss fights. And the boss fights, while some of them do feel kind of similar, are by and large pretty unique. Even the bosses that do feel the same have their own unique tricks, and like the levels themselves, keep you on your toes. Basically, the gameplay to this game is excellent. Now the controls on this game are pretty much spot on. You can use the C buttons to boost in any direction, as well as double tapping in any direction to boost, although they are slightly different. The C buttons will send you a little further, but double tapping the directional pad will send you there faster. And speaking of the D-pad, well, this game is a 2D game, and I guess Treasure really wanted to hit that home, because they completely disabled the C-stick. Yeah, you want to play this game, you use the D-pad, and I think this is one of like 2 N64 games that actually use that thing, which is not only, you know, respecting the core design of being a 2D game, but also, you know, credit where credit's due, not many N64 games actually use that thing, which is like the only way you can actually hold an N64 controller remotely comfortably. The overall presentation of Mischief Makers is fantastic. It has a beautiful 2D aesthetic, bright colors, high contrast, and if nothing else, the building blocks that actually make up the platforms or whatever are bright and colorful, and like everything else on the planet Clancer, has a big, creepy ghost face. Everything in this game has big, creepy ghost faces. It's kind of a nice uniform aesthetic, if a little unnerving when you first play, but it definitely warms up on you. The audio presentation of this game is also very unique, but well done. The soundtrack itself is fantastic, with almost every level having its own unique theme, which is pretty awesome. And the music itself just sounds like it's being made by some weird squealing alien creature. It's not bad or anything, it's just really, really strange to hear what I can only assume is a synthesizer sound effect done in such a strange way. It definitely adds a lot of sort of alien personality to this game, which is fantastic, because I can't say I've heard anything quite like the Mischief Makers soundtrack anywhere else. There's also voice clips, which are done very well. I really, really love the shake shake sound effect. I love the screaming of the little Clancers. I love Professor Theo just screaming at you to help him, even when he throws himself into the situation and clearly does not actually need rescue of any way, shape, or form. Basically, both audio and visual-wise, this game is entirely unique for the N64 and is just fantastic. Now, if you want a copy of Mischief Makers, it's not terribly common, and I don't think there's a high demand on it, but it being a treasure game, it has held its price pretty well, typically sitting at about $35 to $50 from what I can tell. And for this game, I'd say it's well worth it. Sure, it's not the longest game on the N64, but it's like easily the most varied. It's probably the most enjoyable 2D experience on the N64. Might be the only one, come to think of it. And, I mean, come on. It's a Treasure game. Treasure has literally never made anything bad ever. So they've got a fantastic track record, they've got an awesome concept, and they've got a fantastic game. If you ask me, Mischief Makers is easily one of the best on the system, and I'm glad I've got a copy, because, I mean, come on. It's Mischief Makers. It's a game where you shake things a lot. That's frickin' awesome.